I think reflection is a important thing to do on a career or even on whether you're sporty or not. But I want to focus on positives and a negative. So if you would like to look back on your career, would you change anything you've done, or would you tweak anything to improve? Obviously, regret isn't good, but it's good to acknowledge the things you've done in the past to change.
Yeah,
is there anything
certainly.
you change?
Change-wise, in retrospect, I would. There's a lot of some things are kind of out of your control to some degree, and I think especially when you're young, I think the best way somebody put it to me is that you can kind of take the sport, or you can kind of conceive it in the way like where you're taking a backseat approach to it and somebody else is driving the car. And if you're doing that, you're not really in control of the sport. You're not really in control of what you're doing. And sometimes you're just kind of going along for the ride, but sometimes you don't really care, or you're not really being responsible. And like, I was very young when I started, and throughout my athletics journey, it's also it's for everybody, it's this process of self-development and learning to take more accountability for what you're doing.
For sure.
And I certainly wasn't as accountable as I was earlier on. And I think that kind of pressure of kind of trying to find yourself, especially in your early 20s, and forming and like trying to figure out like who you are and what you're doing and everything, can be a bit disorientating. And that all bleeds into everything that you're doing, including athletics and high jump. So you do have that aspect. I think I would change. What else would I change? Yeah, if I was to go back, or if I was to give advice to myself earlier on, I'd probably want to drill that into myself a bit earlier and be like, if you want to take this seriously, like, you need to get this organized and get that organized and do this. But, at those times, I didn't have somebody to tell me that. So you're kind of figuring it out as you go.
So you go.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
And is that what you would teach? Obviously, the things that you would change, you'd bring to the people you're coaching as well. So I guess it sort of works.
Yeah,
that
you would.
Sure.
You have to, and I think as well, like, regarding passion for the sport, when things become more serious and you're representing a country and you have more systems in place that you're accountable to, like, you really have to try and maintain and enjoy the sport throughout it. I think it can be obvious when somebody is doing something that they're not really enjoying or not really feeling. It's reflected pretty clearly in their performances or in probably just the expression on their faces. And like, take Nicola Dermott, for example, who's been doing extremely well, Australian female high jumper, and she loves the sport, she loves the mission, she loves what she's doing, and it's reflected very clearly in her performances.
It is.
And you have to make sure that I think you're enjoying the sport. I'd also say to myself as well I wish I had reflected more and maybe taken a bit more time to rest and reflect before getting straight back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's some of the I think that kind of addresses maybe some of the regret or some of the negative parts. The positives is that, I've made all of these championships so far. And yeah, like I said, regardless of the performance, all of these, it's a very unique experience to have your failures, your successes or your failures in the spotlight, broadcast to everybody. It's very unique. It's a lot of pressure.
It is.
And you become more resilient in the process of it. And you learn how to come back from those setbacks. And you have to just keep on trying. And I think that's kind of a massive part of it. You learn that no matter how bad it is, like, I've had crushing performances and crushing defeats, and to be able to still rise back up and get on your feet and be like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's tough.
Yeah, it can be really tough, and that's just the nature of elite sport.
Yeah.
But I've made many good friends doing it. You learn a lot about yourself. You get to travel the world. And yeah, I've been to more countries than I could imagine. I'm actually looking forward to a bit of a break.
Yeah.
From traveling so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's an amazing experience, and I get to be part of a very small kind of community that gets to experience any of these things. So.